Welcome to another CEO Wisdom podcast. We have Itzik Alvas with us. He is co-founder and CEO at Anro Security, CISO, and he's an ex-Microsoft cyber and cloud expert and ex-Israeli forces. So interesting background for sure. We're going to talk about cybersecurity, the recent events, and startups in Israeli and how they've been affected by the recent events, which have been quite intense, we will agree to. Itzik, can you introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about your company?
Yeah, thanks, Charles, for having me. I'm, as said, Itzik Alvas. Started my cybersecurity career back at the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force. Was on the offensive side of the cybersecurity vertical. As mentioned, worked on several positions since then. On the defensive side, I was a CISO of the largest company in Europe, and then was in charge for the internal security at Microsoft, Defender for Azure. Our company, Anro Security, which I'm the CEO and co-founder of, protect secret keys, such as API keys, connection strengths, and etc. And secrets was a major portion of my career. I used to leverage secrets when I was on the offensive side, and when I was a CISO, my organization was breached using a secret, and Microsoft was breached a couple of times when I was in charge for the cybersecurity. So, yeah, I know secrets inside out, and I felt like the world need a better solution to protect those secrets and protect organizations against those secrets targeted attacks.
So tell us about the first hacks that you witnessed and that you solved personally. Who were the perpetrators? What did they wanted? And how did you resolve the situation on your end without mentioning the precise details?
Yeah, sure. So maybe just to frame secrets, if someone is not familiar with that. So secrets essentially are programmatic access keys. And by saying that, I mean that every application that is being developed anywhere needs to use other services such as databases or storage accounts and other services, maybe applications. And in order to connect and authenticate against those other services, they need keys, and those keys are secrets, right? So essentially, they are the username and password of applications. So yeah, the main problem with secrets is that those secrets are being created and handled by teams that are not responsible to secure them. They are being created by developers, by DevOps, by SREs, and etc. And they scatter them around. And that's why for the last 4 years in a row, secrets targeted attacks are among the top 3 attack vectors out there in terms of frequency, and the number 1 most costly attack to an organization for our case. So one time we had a developer that basically exposed a secret externally. Bad attackers found that, used that in order to connect into our environment, and then they created more secret, so more keys, and that was the second attack. They basically created more backdoors or more keys in order to connect to our environment. It was devastating for us. They stole a lot of our code. They published a lot of customers' data online. And the way to remediate that is very difficult, because I'm not sure if you ever seen a secret, but it's essentially a long string. So even if you find one, you have no idea what it can do. You have no idea who created it, when, why, what cloud service it can access, with what permission. So it's a lots of manual work in order to understand which secret was in use in order to get the initial breach and what other secrets has been created. Lots of manual work, because none of that is basically logged.
Right. And why did they do that exactly? What did they wanted?
Yeah, so as always, right, they wanted money. That's money is the driver of everything nowadays. So if they can get the code, they can, after that, create some more attacks, because once you will have the secret, you can access user data, and then you can sell that data. You can access the code, and using that code, using SDLC, you can basically breach other organizations and other areas. So yeah, they wanted the money. They can encrypt our environment and ask for ransomware. There's a lot of ways you can attack an organization and get money out of it once you have the key to the kingdom.
And how did you fix the problem? Is it always the right solution to give the attackers what they want, money, or is it better to defend yourself?
I think it's never appropriate to give them money. There are other ways in which you can remediate those risks. So you can find what they stolen. It can take a lot of time. And then you can basically deactivate that key. And if they created some sort of encryption, if they ruined anything in your infrastructure, then the best way is, of course, to restore that from past backups. If you have no other choice, then yeah, maybe you can think about engaging there. But I feel like you should never engage bad actors.
Is that your Israeli nature to never give up and give the attackers what they want? Because that's also my nature. Like ethically, I cannot pull myself to give out something to someone that will do bad in this world, And I don't care the damages that it does my company. It's just that is my nature. It's the choice that I make to never give out to terror or people using fear to obtain what they want.
Yeah, exactly. Not only that, I mean, once you give them once what they want, you basically encourage them to do it again, right? So you are never protected. I think that you should care about your company, and if you care about your company, you should do what's right and basically not encourage anyone to do stuff like that. So you can handle it by yourself if you have the proper backups, if you have the proper policies and procedures. You can basically remediate that. Yeah, it will cost you. Yeah, you will lose some customers, but at least you are preventing them or not encouraging them to do it again.
Tell us about Israeli and Palestine cyber attacks. Seems that this war is very much of a physical war and there's not much cyber attacks involved, or maybe I'm totally wrong. Or there seems to be a lot of physical war going on because you guys are you're approximately near location wise, geography wise. So what's happening on the cyber front there, and will that strongly impact the outcome of that war?
Yeah, so I'm not saying you're wrong, because there are a lot of physical attacks going on at the borderline, but cyber attacks are everywhere, right? So if someone is stopping electricity at some foreign state, it's using cyber, right? And there's a lot of cyber attacks going on right now between Israel and other foreign countries. And I can tell you that because we're seeing that all over the news, at least in Israel. So yeah, there's a lot of cyber attacks going on. There's a lot of cyber defense going on right now, and I can assume that a lot of that is using secrets. Um, so yeah, Israel is we are well known at our cyber abilities. The IDF intelligence force is using a lot of offensive cyber and defensive cyber, and you can see it in the public market because you have a lot of Israeli vendors that are within the cybersecurity market, and that's basically the result of the idea of the Israeli Defense Force education. So yeah, there's a lot going on right now.
And how is that going to play a role in the outcome of this war? Because it seems that nowadays most countries, when they fight a war, it's cyber first, and then it's physical a little bit, right? And in that case, seems that there's a lot of physical stuff going on because it's close-knit territory. Most wars are fought by territory as well. If we see Ukraine and Russia, that's what you need to start a war. You infiltrate someone's territory. It's weird, the human convention sometimes, but what could Israeli do to disarm Hamas electronically instead of bombing, which can have some collateral damage sometimes?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of different aspects for that. So the first one is basically the credit that Israel is currently getting in order to do some bombing and attacks. And that credit is strictly public facing internet, right? It's in social media, other websites, and etc. And that's where a lot of the cyber goes as well, because if you have false news that reduce that credit, then someone needs to handle that, and I'm sure that we have people that are doing that as well. But in the borderline or between our forces, I'm sure that people in the cyber industry within the IDF are disarming missiles right now. They are plugging out electricity, and they are doing. I know that in some portions of Israel, GPS is not working correctly. I'm sure that's something they are doing to Gaza Strip, which affects Israel as collateral. So there's a lot going on right now, and yeah, everything, as you mentioned very correctly, it's for cyber, for getting people offline, or at least destroying their internet access or GPS and etc. And then you can move more easily into the territory.
Right. How's your internal team being affected by the recent events, and how are you helping contribute to eradicate the threat?
Yeah, so Antro is spread out between Israel and the US. So our go-to-market team, our sales, our marketing, they are based in the US, Boston and New York, and then our R&D, or most of our development, is based out of Israel. So of course that affects us a lot, at least the R&D side. So yeah, 2 weeks ago it was completely chaos, a lot of emotional stress, and of course that people weren't working at their best capacity. But fortunately enough, everybody in Entro is safe and sound. Our families are safe and sound. So at least for Entro, we're fine as much as we can be in this climate. But yeah, of course, we are doing conversations and discussions and company-wide discussions. And if someone needs a break or anything else, of course, we are more than happy to provide it. And some of the companies also doing reserve duty. So they are being called back to the army. Some are combat soldiers, and some are intelligence. So we have some employees that are currently doing reserve duty. So of course it affects us, but hey, if your country needs you, then you should be there, right?
Should nowadays with the company itself, basically what's your focus, because the economy has not been the best this year from a sales perspective? So are you more focused on the product, serving existing clients? What is your top three priority this year?
Yeah, so top three priorities is of course product and extending what we can do, extending our platforms into more solutions. And I know it's been a difficult year, but sales is strong. At least for us, we are getting a lot of traction and a lot of customers. Of course, sales In marketing software, you should pick top three. It's of course sales, marketing, and product. And as mentioned earlier, secrets targeted attacks are among the top three attack vectors out there. So people are buying our solution, they need our solution. Secrets are scattered everywhere. Developers are sending them via Slack messages. They are being stored within config file. The developers commit them into code. And if you lose one key, that's enough basically to distract your entire organization. So what we're doing, we're able to find all keys and provide the secret inventory that answers the question of how many secrets have and where are they, which organization have no idea. And then we are able to take that long string and to classify it and enrich it and basically visualize a map around it of which application is using what secret to access what service and who created it, when, why, what it can do, what risks are associated with it. It's basically like placing an AirTag over that secret. And after enriching that secret, we also continuously monitor that for any abnormal behavior. So if your secrets are being accessed from China and you don't have business over there, what happened to LastPass? Hey, we will let you know and alert on that. So that's an holistic solution for secrets and secret security. It's completely out of band. So we are seeing traction. So again, marketing, sales, and product, those are our main focus areas.
Interesting. And usually, how big are the organizations that use your product?
Yeah, so we usually work with enterprise and maybe mid-market or large mid-market. But we have organizations from all sizes. We have smaller companies and we have Fortune 500 as well. So, but we focus on enterprise and large mid-market or small enterprises.
So your ideal customer persona, is it a tech company? Are they in the US? Can you give me a better idea of that?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, we target mainly the US. We have customers in Europe as well, but we target mainly the US. We're seeing tractions from a lot of different companies because every company that have internal development have that problem. And if you have a lot of internal development, so if you're a software company, then that problem is larger. So yeah, software companies is a great vertical for us. Travel is great for us. Insurance or other finance, such as banks and etc., are great for us. Our main user is application security or product security, and our budget holder is basically the CISO. So CISO organization, the Chief Information Security Officers, they are our customers usually.
Interesting. And how do you distinguish yourself as a company? Like, why wouldn't they use another common solution out there, one of your competitors?
Yeah, so as mentioned earlier, the problem is that those secrets, those keys are being created by developers and they scatter them around. They are basically exposing them all over the place. And the current solutions you have is only secret scanners, and secret scanners are pattern scanners. They can find credit cards and they can find social security numbers and they can find secrets. But and I used a secret scanner before, and the main problem with secret scanners is you will scan your code and you will find 1,000 secrets. Now what? Who's the owner? Are those secrets enabled, or maybe they are disabled and no one can use them anymore? What they can do, what cloud service they can access, with what permission. You have no actionability. A lot of the time there are a lot of false positives. You will need the context. You will need to take that long string you find and understand who's the owner, what it can do, what's the blast radius of that secret, and that's what we provide, context over that secret, abnormal behavior capabilities, public leakage of secrets, dark web leakage of secrets, misconfiguration of secrets. So the current solutions are only, or the past solutions are only solving a portion of the problem. Also, we just won Gartner Cool Vendor, which basically means that we are disrupting the secret security market. So there is no solutions like our Anro Security platform.
Right. So this year, for example, we can say, I think it's fair to say that your greatest challenge were the recent event and managing with the staff alongside with the economy. What do you foresee for next year, and what will you do if this conflict escalates, for example, if the economy keeps getting worse?
Yeah, so I will start with the economy because, as mentioned, at least for us, it wasn't a barrier. We are seeing a lot of traction. We have great customers, and it's a solution that is tailored for basically every company with internal development, and they all need that. Also, you need it for compliance and other mandatory rules. So we're not seeing a problem with the current economy, but hopefully it will get better, and we are able to find more customers because of that. But it's not a barrier of friction for us. Yeah. So if the current Israeli climate will keep or get worse, it might be a problem for us, but we're well, used to that. Every other year there's a war in Israel. I assume it will be perfectly fine. We are accustomed to having difficult situations in Israel in terms of wars or basically stuff like that. So I'm not really worried about that.
It's like grit and resilience, I guess, which you folks are used to. I guess when you expose yourself to so many of these stressful events, you kind of develop a resilience, and yeah, that's mostly good in business. I think that's one of the reasons why Israeli is so good at business and startups, I think, yeah, first, the fact that all of you folks start in the army, I think that's generally a good thing. That is if the army is well organized and if the government invests a lot, because there's a lot of crappy armies out there, and just getting through them is not going to do you any good. And then the second thing, since you're always like on the lookout and at war with your neighbors, you kind of develop this grit. And then next thing you see all these startups, and you're called Startup Nation. So I'm really, really bullish on Israel from a startup perspective.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, we are accustomed to situations that probably other states or countries in the world are not that common in. But yeah, it has its pluses and it has its minuses. Probably for business, it's a good one. Yeah, probably. But for normal life, it's probably a minus, right? So yeah, but the army comment, it's spot on. Yeah, Israeli army, at least the intelligence is well organized. People know what they're doing over there. You learn a lot in terms of cybersecurity, how to also attack and how to defend. You learn a lot, and you are there for a lot of years. So it's a great school. Yeah.
Well, Itzik, thank you for showing up today. Where can people find out more about you?
Yeah, Charles, thanks for having me. You can just Google Anro Security or reach our LinkedIn page, Anro Security, that's ENTRO Security. You can find out a lot about how to protect your secret keys and get our claim control over the secrets.
There you go. And I'm Charles Cormier, host of CEO Wisdom Podcast.com. That was Itzik Alvas.